Hello everybody! How are you today? I hope that you're doing well because it's another Friday, so another Nebo's Niche video. Today, the inspiration came that I should probably talk a little bit about these first 14 videos, today being the 15th video that I've posted for Nebo's Niche. And a little bit of the lessons that I have been able to accrue along the way, as well as the lessons that I've learned from other YouTube creators, and just the mistakes and stuff that I've discovered that I've had either in my own expectations or just overall. So, first of all, let's start out with just the expectation of subscribers. Everybody wants to be successful. It's true. But really, the amount of subscribers that I've gotten so far has been a lot less, even 1/10 of what I kind of expected by this point in time. Now, I'm not saying that I'm disgruntled or I'm discouraged by any means. I'm just saying that I had a greater expectation than what is actually happening. I know for a fact that if I could keep going and I keep building on this path, that eventually the subscribers will start flowing and they'll start joining in on the system, and I will start getting the subscribers that I'm looking for, and that I will be able to continue on progressively and get even more motivated to produce even better and more awesome content for you, the viewer. So that being said, if you're going to start your own YouTube video, be aware of the fact that YouTube channel, be aware of the fact that you're not going to have a continuous stream of subscribers and likes and views flowing in from the very get-go. It's a very rare situation that even happens to do that. One of my coworkers, they posted a video and it took 5 years for that video to get up to 1 million views, and it just so happened to have some keywords that were very commonly searched for. And that's why that video kind of got suggested over time, and it finally became a video that was of interest to... Oh, shoot. I didn't check. Reach this up. So, okay, that's better. See, there's another thing that I messed up. I didn't even have my camera set up right at the top, so I was cutting off the very top of my head, which was probably a little distracting to you, but we'll leave that in there just because that's another thing that I've learned is being able to collect everything and get everything ready. You almost kind of start feeling like an octopus because you gotta get 10 or 8 or 10 things done just to get one video started and to get to the point where you're talking to the camera. That's not a bad thing, but you got to learn the steps along the way in order to get it to work. I've got to make sure that my microphone's in place. I've got to make sure my camera's there. I've got to make sure that my distance from the camera is properly in focus, because I actually have this window about this big that will keep me in focus. If I step too close, I get out of focus. If I step too far away, I get out of focus. So I actually have some tape right on the ground to help me stand in the right spot to remind me this is where I'm in focus, and that's how I'm going to get it. So back to the subscribers thing. Speaking of subscribers, if you have anybody that you've been watching and that you kind of like their content on, make sure that you leave them a subscribe and you leave them a like for the videos that you do like, because it's important to get new creators along the pathway to become the creators of tomorrow, because we're going to start having a period of time where the creators of today are going to start retiring, and if we want more content on YouTube, we'd better get ready for the new content that's going to be coming out. And hopefully I'm one of those creators that will get to be part of that big move to the new future. Okay, I did that whole 4-minute sequence without any edits on purpose. I had a coworker that wanted me to, or more or less challenged me to do as long a take as I could without doing any cuts. Challenge accepted. I think I managed to do it. I hope it didn't bore you too much, but on with the show. Learning from past videos is also another thing that needs to be considered. When you realize that every single video you make and every single video that you have taken the time to create and to publish, those are all practices. And every single time you practice, you're going to get better. But keep in mind, you're not always entitled to making the perfect video every single time. You're going to have mistakes, you're going to have bloopers, you're going to have cuts that are going to be required. And even though you want to try to do it all in one take, it may not be possible. The environment around me is a little bit problematic. I'm going to keep recording with this aircraft flying over me because it's one of the problems I have to worry with. I also just had my Google Home Mini announce to me that lunch is ready, and I'm going to have to stop filming so I can go eat lunch. Little things pop in and out, and people will walk in while I'm filming, or jets fly over, or the HVAC clicks on, and it makes it hard to keep the video running because you pick up on all these other noises that are showing up, and it's just, to me, it doesn't make for a great video. That's excellent timing, Jet. Thank you for coming by when you did. I'm glad that you and I planned this out. Yeah. Anyway, I work in an office that is an unfinished section of my house. So I've adapted this to be able to make it so that it's a small studio, and I have this kind of purposefully wrinkly sheet to give a little bit of texture to the background, but the walls themselves are just plain drywall. Even though I have to work around all these things, and especially like if my kids decide to be rowdy and screamy and whatnot, that causes another layer of potential problems where I'll get excess sound getting collected by the microphone. I don't have a shotgun enough microphone to really edit out all these sounds, and eventually I will, but you know, it's something to consider. One of the things that I think is also interesting is the fact that, like, I don't feel comfortable filming in a unfinished room. So I do, like I've said earlier in this video, I try to cover up the unfinishedness of this room so that it feels a little bit more professional, because I want you to be less distracted by the fact that there's unfinishedness around this area. Another thing to remember, like just like I mentioned a little bit earlier when I realized that I was not in the frame properly, because I'm currently using some, I don't know if it's outdated equipment, but you know, it is equipment that is starting to age. It is the Canon T2i. It is a really old model by all technicalities, because I think they're up to like the T5 or T6i, and it's a good camera, but I'm limited to about 10 minutes of taking film because of the fact that, well, the battery and the power that the camera requires to be able to do the video is high enough that it will actually overheat the camera before the 10-minute, just about the 10-minute mark. Because I did at one point in time, I bought a camcorder that I was thinking, oh yeah, that would be great for making videos with. I mean, I've got the flip around screen and everything, but I can't attach a microphone to this. It has a microphone port, but when I've attached a microphone to it, it won't record audio at all. And so, as good as it is, I mean, it is a Canon, and it does take very nice video, it is only using its internal mic. And that makes it really hard for me, because the internal mics just don't seem to do as well. That's why even on this camera, I have a microphone that's sitting on top that it has the windscreen on it to help prevent all the extra sound that's coming in from the outside of the camera area. But just trying to make sure, even my microphone I could upgrade. I need to work on the lighting. I also would like to have some sort of video feedback, so I'm going to try to invest in a screen that I can have on top of my camera or on the side of my camera that will allow me to see if I'm in frame, so I don't have the stuff like that blooper that I showed earlier where I realized I was out of frame. It's just little things like that you're going to put together over time, and you're going to start noticing more often. And even more so, you're going to start noticing them in other people's videos. Other lessons that I've learned is that it takes a lot of footage to produce a little bit of video. I would say that I average almost 4 times the footage that I end up posting. This accounts for bloopers, this accounts for times when I'm saying or like or and I need to cut those out. And also there's times when I breathe and I hear it in the microphone and I'm like, oh my gosh, that's so loud, what do I do with that? So what you can do, what you kind of can plan on, at least what I plan on for doing footage, is I try to shoot about 4 times more footage than I expect to have for the video. Which means, like, for a simple 10-minute video, I'm shooting 40 minutes worth of footage in the hopes of getting to that 10 minutes. There's an right there. So, with that being in mind, I try not to set my hopes on a specific time anymore, because I found that was really difficult to do. What I plan on more is to try to get all the footage that I can collect, regardless of how long it takes, and just put together the best video I can. The video that I feel like I failed the most on, because I tried to put it together specifically to pass 10 minutes, and I really felt like I was just failing miserably on that video, was the video where I did the light and the battery unboxing, and it just didn't work out as well. And I think it was because I was so set on hitting that 10 minutes that I didn't pay attention to quality. So I hit time, but I failed to use quality. Should you sacrifice quality over time? Or make longer videos that may be lower quality? I think there's a delicate balance that needs to be built. When I ignore the amount of time and I just talk to you guys and I tell you the information, or share with you the information in a way that is copacetic and happy and not feeling rushed, I get more across the table, and I don't have as much problems with hitting the time, because when I get done I'm like, oh cool, that's 8 minutes, great, that's awesome. Planning the amount of time. Not to mention, it takes a fair chunk of time to also edit and compile videos. I have to plan 2 to 4 hours to edit a video, and then I have to plan an additional 2-ish hours for rendering a video, because surprisingly enough, it takes a fair chunk of time to take all the clips and compile them into one video and make it look nice. So it takes a fair chunk of time. You got to plan on that. Other things that you need to do for planning is you need to make sure that you have at least bullet points of what you want to talk about, so that you don't have the troubles of like, oh well, what's going on? What am I going to do? You don't sit there questioning what you're going to say. Bullet points help drive things forward. There are some people who need full out scripts. They need to write out the full book worth of information that they want to have. Bullet points work really well for me. I think it also helps me be a little bit more adaptive to what I want to say and how I'm saying it, as well as it gives me the opportunity to change what I'm saying. Like, half the stuff I've written for my bullet points, I haven't even used some of it. Having a little bit more information that you can touch on is also helpful in reducing the stress of like, oh well, I've got to get this up to par. I can't stress enough that if you want to make a YouTube channel, just like all the YouTube content creators have said before, especially the video influencers, it is going to take practice, and it's going to take more than a few videos. Even down to there's a few people who have tried to put out statistics, like there's a likelihood that you will have a very successful video 1 in 20. So it takes at least 20 videos before you start seeing that one rising star jump out of the mix. And it won't probably be 20 more videos until you see that next rising star. The interesting thing is it does seem to attract a kind of almost permanent change to your channel. When you have that rising star video, it brings a few more people to the table every single time you post. And as a result, your videos will then just kind of tick up a notch, and you'll have a little bit more success each time that you do it. But you're not going to find that success if you are not posting videos. Every time you make a video, you are going to find something, even subconsciously, to do better. And as a result, you are going to get better with how you're going to put together the video, with how you're going to film it, with how you're going to talk to the camera. And even with how you glance at your notes, if you have any, or bullet points that you have, you're going to be able to start putting together things with a different fervor than your very first video. So you got to build up your own confidence enough to put yourself out there, even if you have messed up entirely and you have a whole bunch of glitches and whatnot in your video. You gotta be willing to put the work in, and then once you finish the video, kind of just gotta close your eyes and set that thing up and send it. Because being consistent and taking advantage of the opportunity to post your content is at least getting it out there to be seen. So even if it only gets 1 or 2 views or 10 million views, your video will be dependent on it actually being on the internet to be able to be watched. I personally am trying to produce the best videos I can, but when it boils down to it, I after I've collected all the video, if I messed up royally, I'm going to put together the best video I can out of what I've done, and I'm going to have to post it. And it takes a lot of confidence, especially when you don't feel good about the video, to hand that out there and to be like, okay, here you go. Because you could get burned for it. People sometimes are very a little bit overbearing, or not so much overbearing, but a little over insultive on the internet. And it's like we have a society that doesn't even think about people's feelings or how they'll feel about the comments. And even then, we have a society that a lot of people hear comments and they're like, well, I don't want to take that, I'm just going to ignore it. But all that aside, that's what you're doing. If you're being willing enough to be a content creator and you want to build a channel and you want to help other people, then you are going to have to be willing to take the negative as well as the positive. Probably the hardest thing to get over is the excuses. It seems like, especially for me, I'm very human in the reality that I follow along with like the excuses that get you to not do stuff. There are many times I wake up in the morning and I find myself just not motivated to do something specific. And while I want to make YouTube videos, sometimes I haven't had the inspiration of what to do, and so I have absolutely no energy towards doing it. As soon as I catch on to an idea, I really do, I feel like I just drive through it and I get everything going and everything works perfectly after that. But getting the idea for what I'm going to film and how I'm going to say it, what I'm going to say, what I need to take out of what I'm going to say, just getting to the start of that, getting the spark of the idea is admittedly what is the hardest for me, because that's when my brain creates the most excuses. It's like, oh, I can put this off till tomorrow. Oh, I've got some time. I'll be able to come up with something. Or, oh, you know, you're so tired. You should just take a little bit longer sleep, just to get a little bit more rest. But you know, there's things that try to shut me down, and it does take effort to get over those. Even after I've filmed, there's times where I'll look at the footage and it's like, oh my gosh, what did I do? I cannot believe it. And I have to work through it and get past those excuses and say, you know what, I'm going to do this and I'm going to do it well. And I'm going to get it out there, and I don't care what anybody says, but I'm going to get it out there because I know every time I do, I get better. And eventually I'm going to have that video that's going to take off, and that's going to help me get even more excited and further along this pathway. Getting past all the excuses, it does take effort. It does take a little bit of self-control, but you can do it. I know you can. And just like one of my favorite YouTubers has said, Brian G. Johnson says all the time, you need to stake your claim, amplify your message, and get your videos out there. And you'll do well eventually. But you gotta do something first. You gotta take that first step. So again, I would love to see some of you guys take advantage of the opportunity to hit that subscribe button and join me on future weeks. Yeah, I'm gonna keep the topics moving around, and I will try to keep an interesting pattern to it, but I will try in every way, shape, or form to get a video out every Friday. I'm looking at a potential business trip that's coming up here that may take me away for 2 months, and I'm not sure what I'll be able to do for videos, but I'm going to see what I'm going to try to do something. But worst case scenario, I might have to just say, hey, I got to take a 2-month hiatus, and I will be back on after 2 months. But I'm going to try to get over my own excuses of, oh, I don't have a recording studio. I mean, I could probably take my microphone with me, but I'm going to try to get over those excuses and find a way to make it work. Keep in mind, I want to provide relevant and insightful content for you guys. And that's why I like doing this. It's a way that I can help more than just a few people. It's not just going to be a seminar that I'm going to help whoever managed to attend. It's an opportunity that people can go back and look at and learn something new from over time. And that's my goal. I want to help. I think it's just so exciting that I'm able to do this now. And I really just enjoy I love helping others, and I even enjoy the mass opportunity to help more than people that I will ever even meet. And that's why I'm doing the YouTube videos. And so it helps when you subscribe and when you tell your friends about it and they subscribe. Growing this channel will definitely be a process. It will take a while, but it is motivating to see. And so if you have a YouTube channel out there that you've been watching and you've watched more than a couple of videos on, might as well, subscribing doesn't hurt anything. It does promote the person you're watching and make them aware of the fact that what they're doing is being paid attention to, and that somebody out there wants more. So it's awesome. Let's do that. Anyway, so I haven't done it for a while, so I'm going to use my let's use Mickey voice today to send you off. Have a wonderful weekend, and we'll see you next Friday. Bye-bye now. Happy Friday. Hello, everybody. Happy Friday to you today. Hi. Hello, everybody. Happy Friday to you. Okay.